Maybe you are a nonprofit web person and you're putting together an RFP for your new project and you want to make sure that you've included everything important. Maybe you already submitted an RFP and someone asks you, because they're thinking about doing a project, hey, what are the third-party integrations you have? Or maybe someone has told you, hey, you should really be using these third-party systems to improve your web presence. Now, are you going to do some integrations with them? And you're thinking, what is a third-party integration? Why do they think that they're so important? My name is Ben. I'm from BFC Digital. We help nonprofits thrive on the web. And today's video is going to be all about the 8 types of third-party integrations you want to know about and consider for your nonprofit's web presence. What we mean by third-party integration is we mean anything that is provided on your website or related to your website that isn't in your website itself, but is provided by another service. And somehow data is going from that service to your website or from your website to that extra service. So let's say you have a website and let's say you allow users to donate to your nonprofit, which you should absolutely do. Maybe you're running the donations in your website directly, but more likely you're probably using a third-party system that manages donations, and you're implementing that on your website. And the reason you want to use third-party services for a lot of these things is because doing it yourself is kind of complicated. You can, for instance, sell swag on your website if you want to, a sweatshirt of your nonprofit or a bag of your nonprofit. But what do you got to think about? You got to think about inventory. You got to think about, do I have to collect sales taxes? Turns out you do, depending on what state. It might be a totally different amount of sales taxes. How am I going to track shipping? All of these things are complicated, and oftentimes you'll use third-party services like a store at Shopify, for instance, to handle a lot of the details. So you are probably running third-party integrations on your website right now, you don't even know. So you should get this straight before you plan a new project or plan how you're going to improve your current situation. Number 1 type of integration is some sort of analytics platform. You've probably heard of Google Analytics. There are a bunch of others. And those are platforms that help you figure out who's coming to your website, how much traffic you're getting, when they're coming there, what device they're using when they come there, what's most popular and least popular. So your website's not doing that itself. It's relying on a script from a third-party service like Google to do that. You're probably running that. That's bucket number 1. Number 2, email newsletters. You are probably not writing the emails yourself. You're probably using a service like MailChimp or some other service to send the emails out. And people can probably sign up for your newsletter on your website. At least they should be able to. So what's happening there? Data is going from your website, people sign up, over to that third-party email system so that they can get emailed from that third-party email system. You might have an integration running the other direction too, where you send an email newsletter out from the third-party system. And on your website, you have a listing of your most recent newsletters and people can click on them. That's data that's coming from the third-party system into the website. Number 3, what system is running the donations? Sometimes it's a system referred to as a CRM, which is a constituent relationship management system, where it stores people's names and who's donated and how much and have they donated repeatedly and what season did they donate in and did they donate in response to an email news. All these complicated analysis you can do to help you manage your supporters and your donors. That is probably happening on an offsite system. There's a ton of them. Every Action, Salesforce, HubSpot, there's tons of third-party donation systems that you can use. Number 4, you want to think about third-party integrations for your event. So your organization may or may not run events. You may or may not let people register for them, get a ticket, and you may or may not charge for those tickets too. You might sell tickets. So then you're talking about credit cards. That may be run through a third-party integration. Number 5, advocacy and actions. So on your website, you may let your supporters sign a petition or add their name to a letter that's going out, or generate an automated email from their email address to their local congressperson, let's say, if you're advocating for or against a bill that's up for a vote in Congress. Number 6, social media. So you probably have at least one social media account somewhere, Twitter or X or Facebook or whatever, Instagram. Are you integrating with a third-party social media system by automatically posting your most recent blog posts or videos on those systems when you do it on your website? Or maybe you're bringing in the posts that you've put on Instagram or Facebook or whatever and displaying them on your website. So that's another type of third-party integration. Number 7, membership. You may be a membership type organization. You've got members that are either paying dues or have joined your organization and get some sort of benefit, maybe a magazine or maybe a networking thing. We work with an organization called League of American Orchestras. Hundreds of orchestras around the country join their membership roles and in exchange get information about how best to run an orchestra, especially in times post-COVID. So that membership role system is managed in a third-party system called Salesforce, where the staff can add or remove people, charge people, make sure people are paying their dues, remove them from roles if needed. And that's integrating with the website. The website is able to show a membership directory of the members, right? All that data comes from that third-party system. The website also is able to provide a membership section. So there's a public section of the website and there's a private section of the website where members can go to download the important information. The login and password of that system, of that membership section, is determined by the third-party membership system. So that's the 7th type. And the 8th type is an online store where you can buy things related to the organization that's related to donations, but they're getting something back. Usually hosted off-site. You can do it on your site if you want to, but you have to think through all these complicated issues. Oftentimes it will be managed third-party. And you'll have to integrate that somehow. Maybe you want to display the products on the website, but the purchasing is off-site, or you want to, you want to talk about categories of products on your website and then the listings are somewhere else. So those are the 8 buckets of third-party integrations you want to think of when you're writing your RFP or you're thinking about your project, or even if you're wondering, I wonder if there are some services I can use to improve my web, my web footprint. Run through that list, that list of 8 buckets. That is it. I hope that was helpful. If anybody else has categories of integrations that I missed, things to add to the list, maybe things to remove to the list, or particular recommendations of services they liked or didn't like, or integrations that worked really well or worked poorly, feel free to comment. We'd love to hear about it. And have a great day.